Hello everyone and welcome back to Coach Craig's Sports. Today is Friday, so this is going to be the Dollar Store Stacks video for week number 11. And if you're not familiar to the Dollar Store Stacks video, this is where I go over my cheap quarterbacks that you can stack with some of their receiving options, whether it's a running back, a wide receiver, or a tight end. It allows you to save a little bit of money and pay up for premium players elsewhere. So I'm going to have 4 different stacks on the DraftKings side and then 4 on the FanDuel side as well. It's going to be 8 stacks altogether. There's going to be a couple of repeats between both sides since the pricing is pretty similar overall this week. But without further ado, we'll get into our first stack, and it's my favorite team, the Houston Texans. So we got Tyrod Taylor coming in at $5,000. Obviously, the last game he played, he did not play very well, but he was coming back from injury. Now he's had that week, a bye week, and a whole nother week to prepare for this game. So he should be as healthy as he's going to be pretty much for the rest of the season at this point in time. So you're looking for about 15, 16 points out of him. That's what he's averaging on the season. Take out that one bad week, it's going to look even better for him. Goes against the Tennessee Titans that have allowed a lot of passing yards except for the time they played the Los Angeles Rams so far this season. So Tyrod Taylor plus his main weapon in Brandon Cooks are going to be my key members of this stack. If you want to take a dart throw on Nico Collins at $3,300, you can do that. If you want to take a dart throw on one of the tight ends, you can do that as well. Danny Amendola, any other pass catching options. It's a little bit risky, but altogether, these are GPP options, so you can get a little bit creative with it as well. But Texans definitely going to be one of my favorite stacks this week. And then we're going to move over to the New Orleans Saints, and Alvin Kamara has been ruled out already once again. It's important to keep in mind that both the left tackle, Teron Armstead, and the right tackle, Ryan Ramczyk, are both out in this game as well. So you're probably going to have to focus on some quick passing. That's going to favor a guy like Adam Troutman. But we're going to start off with Trevor Siemian, $5,300. We saw him last week almost throw for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. Goes against the Eagles this week. They're kind of middle of the pack against the quarterbacks, kind of tough on wide receivers, but the value that you do save here is quite a bit. Traquan Smith, who did have a very nice week last week. I had him in a couple different lineups. He only went up $100 in price. And he got you 14.4 DraftKings points last week. If he does that again this week, you're going to be like doing jumping jacks. Marcus Callaway salvaged his day last week with a touchdown. Otherwise, he wasn't too efficient. But looking at these 2 wide receivers, maybe you go to Callaway this week just because more people might be on Traquan Smith. But both options are very viable. And then we got Adam Troutman getting more involved at the tight end position. And the Eagles have been one of the worst teams, if not the worst team against the tight end so far this season. And if Troutman gets in that end zone, definitely going to help out his cause even more. Then we move over to the Carolina Panthers. We got Cam Newton starting at quarterback, $5,100. Definitely a bargain there. He's going to add in some rushing yards. This is probably going to be one of the chalkier plays on this entire list. Goes against a Washington defense that's been really hit or miss throughout the year, but they don't have Chase Young. They don't have Montez Sweat either. So that defensive line is not what it used to be, even though they have great depth on that defensive line as well. Now I pair in Christian McCaffrey here too, because if you're saving that money on Cam Newton, you have extra money to pay out for Christian McCaffrey. He's been very, very solid so far. And yes, you can stack both these guys together. Are they going to cannibalize each other? Maybe in terms of touchdowns? Maybe, but not like anything that's too concerning. And I believe it was Jordan Vanek who posted a tweet about this, and the times that Cam Newton and Christian McCaffrey played together outside of Christian McCaffrey's rookie year, about 44% of the time, they both went over 20 points. So it's definitely not out of the question. That's 4 out of 9 times that it did happen. DJ Moore, definitely a top wide receiver I'm looking at here, $5,900. Great value price for him. If Cam Newton can just get him the ball in stride, DJ Moore can do the rest all by himself. And then if you want to take a dart throw on a tight end, a punt tight end here, we got Ian Thomas and Tommy Tremble, both at $2,500, the minimum price tag for a tight end. If they get in the end zone, they're probably going to help you out. So maybe you get that little fake quarterback draw, and then they pop it over the top to one of them. So definitely in play there, but not anything I'm going out of my way for. But Cam Newton's definitely going to be a very chalky option at the quarterback position this week. So if you pair him up with one of these other options, it's going to help differentiate your lineup just a little bit. Then last but not least, on the DraftKings side, I have the San Francisco 49ers. It looks like Elijah Mitchell is not going to play in this game. Definitely great news for my boy Jeff Wilson Jr. I do like him a lot this week as well. He's going to have one of those cheap price tags. But Jimmy Garoppolo, he's been playing rather well. $5,600. If we can get about 18 points, 19 points out of him, if we get to 20, even better. But he is averaging almost 18 on the season. So if he just does what he's been doing, we're going to be very happy here. You're going to look at his 3 main options to pair him with, whether it's Deebo Samuel, who's $7,800, quite a hefty price tag there, Brandon Ayuk at $5,000, or George Kittle, the tight end, at $6,300. I do like pairing George Kittle and Jimmy Garoppolo together quite a bit this week. Definitely a lot of upside there going against a Jacksonville defense that's not been the best this year outside of that 1 week against the Buffalo Bills. But with that being said, these are my 4 stacks for the DraftKings side. We'll get over to the FanDuel side and talk about my stacks over there as well. So we're going to start off with the Houston Texans. Once again, we got Tyrod Taylor, $6,600, $100 above that minimum price tag threshold for a starting quarterback on the FanDuel side, essentially. Yes, you're going to see a couple guys that sneak below that every once in a while, but got Brandon Cooks, his main wide receiver, at $6,600. He's really the only guy I'm looking to stack with Tyrod Taylor on the FanDuel side. Just looking at Nico Collins, Jordan Akins, anybody else like that, they're all just a little bit too priced up for my liking on the FanDuel side. Then moving over to the Washington football team, I got Taylor Heineke, $6,700, so $100 more than Tyrod Taylor. We've seen him have some good games, some bad games so far this season, but I like the options that are available to stack with him. We got Terry McLaurin at $7,000, a great price tag for him. It is a tough matchup, I will say that first off. DeAndre Carter, you can look at $5,500 as well. He's actually been playing a lot better than I ever would have expected as a former Texans player, but hey, he's out there. If he gets a touchdown once again, if he's involved, if he's getting targets, if he's getting a couple carries on the ground, definitely somebody that you want to have a little bit of exposure to. And then last but not least, at tight end is John Bates, who pretty much is the only tight end they got left because Ricky Seals-Jones has been ruled out for this week. Looks like Logan Thomas is probably going to stay on IR as well. So $4,800, kind of a punt play. Not like super exciting, but hey, they got to throw the ball to somebody, and the tight end for Washington is always on the field. Then we move over to the New Orleans Saints once again. So we got Trevor Siemian coming in at $7,000 this time. Pretty much everything I said on the DraftKings side still applies. Eagles middle of the pack against quarterbacks. Not a very favorable matchup for wide receivers, but very poor against tight ends overall. So Trevor Siemian, if he can kind of just keep doing what he's been doing, it's going to be enough at this pay down spot overall on the FanDuel side as well. Looking at Traquan Smith, Marquez Callaway, they're both about the same price tag, $5,700, $5,800 respectively. If it's up to me, I'm going to go Traquan Smith more times than not, but we'll just have to take a look at what the projected ownership looks like as well. Then once again, we got Adam Trautman coming in at $4,800. Very good matchup, been more involved lately, so definitely somebody that I have a lot of interest in this week overall. And like I said, on the DraftKings side, this Saints team is very, very banged up. Once again, no Alvin Kamara. Both starting tackles are missing. They got a couple guys out on defense as well, so if the Eagles are able to put up some points, they're going to have to throw the ball, and they're going to have to look at some of these short and intermediate passing options as well. Then last but not least, we're going back to San Francisco with Jimmy Garoppolo, $7,100. So he's the most expensive one on the FanDuel side. And, you know, he's had that production so far this season. I like pairing him up with some of these options against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Deebo Samuel, $7,600. A little bit cheaper on the FanDuel side, actually. And when you stack up the wide receivers, he's a little bit lower down on the totem pole on the FanDuel side as well. If he gets in the end zone, definitely going to help your team out. Brandon Ayuk's there at $6,000. Not my favorite play by any means, but definitely will have a little bit of exposure to him. And then once again, George Kittle, it's pairing him and Jimmy Garoppolo is probably something that I'm going to be doing a lot of this week, especially in GPPs. But with that being said, these are the 4 stacks for the FanDuel side as well, and the 8 stacks overall for both FanDuel and DraftKings. As always, if you have any questions regarding NFL DFS for the main slate, be sure to leave them down in the comments below. Also, be sure to let me know your favorite stack for the NFL DFS main slate for week number 11. Definitely interested in hearing what you guys have to say as well. But with that being said, if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. It helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS, whether it's NFL or NBA, helping you with your fantasy football teams, talking a little bit of NFL news, a little bit of injury updates. There is going to be a lot of injury updates to talk about tomorrow in the starts and sits video and on the Point After podcast, which I'm on at 9 p.m. Eastern time on the TNF network as well on Saturdays. So definitely be sure to check that out as well. And then with that being said, if you are a new or current subscriber who's yet to do so, also hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I upload a new video. Like I've been saying, I upload 12 videos a week, 7 for NBA DFS, and then 5 for fantasy football or NFL DFS content. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, special shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.